All right, so today we're diving into the world of architecture, but we're not talking about like gargoyles or flying buttresses, you know.
Oh,
We're
no.
looking at the business side of things.
Right.
You've given us this chapter titled Brand, Public Relations, and Marketing. It's from some kind of guide for running an architectural practice.
Mm.
And, well, I got to say, even the most amazing blueprint won't get built if nobody knows you exist, right?
Right, exactly. It's such an important part of architecture, but it's something that people don't always think about right away.
Yes.
Architects, I mean, they're artists, of course, but they're also entrepreneurs. They're
Mm.
running businesses.
Yeah.
And this chapter really digs into all the stuff architects need to do to be successful, on that side of things.
Yeah, it really emphasizes that architects need to master 3 key elements: brand, marketing, and PR. Almost like a 3-legged stool,
Yeah.
If one leg's wobbly, the whole thing collapses.
Yeah, and the chapter really stresses that a strong brand is the foundation.
Okay.
They describe it as the firm's personality, the story it tells, what clients feel when they, walk in the door.
Okay,
That's what attracts the right clients.
I see.
Yeah.
And they actually even quote Seth Godin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said a brand is all about the expectations and relationships that, make a client pick you over someone else.
Yeah.
So it's way more than just like a logo.
Oh, for sure. It's the entire client experience.
Right.
And, part of that is figuring out what makes your firm unique.
Right, yeah.
Are you all about sustainable design or historic preservation or cutting-edge technology? That becomes a part of your brand.
Okay, so once you've got your brand figured out, that's where marketing kicks in.
Right.
And the chapter's very clear that marketing is not the same as selling.
Yeah, and this is where it gets strategic.
Yeah.
Marketing isn't about just, closing a deal on a project. It's about attracting the right clients in the first place
Okay.
and understanding their needs
Yeah.
and making sure your firm can, meet those needs.
So it's almost like you're tailoring your message to the right audience.
Exactly.
Correct.
And the chapter makes it very, very clear that marketing is not a one-time thing.
Right.
It's an ongoing process, like tending a garden.
You got to nurture those relationships.
Exactly.
Keep your firm top of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be ready to adapt to, the changing market.
I see. So it's almost like a living thing that you're constantly like pruning and like
Exactly.
making sure it's healthy.
Exactly.
So-
What's really interesting is that the chapter links marketing spend directly to a firm's profitability.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not just an expense.
Right.
It's a strategic investment.
I see.
They even recommend tracking your proposal closing rate to see what marketing activities are actually working.
Oh, that's smart.
So you can, refine your approach over time.
So it's like a constant cycle of learning and improving, figuring out what's connecting with clients,
Yeah.
and then adapting. Yeah.
Absolutely. And a huge part of that is seeing your practice from the client's point of view.
Oh, okay.
They actually have a whole section about that.
Right, because it's not just about yelling your message as loud as you can.
Right.
You have to actually understand what clients are looking for, what their problems are, and why they would pick, one firm over another.
Yeah. They ask some really insightful questions, like what really matters to clients when they're hiring an architect? What makes one firm stand out?
Interesting.
And that's where, researching your competition comes in.
Right, because you got to know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's almost like a detective game.
Yeah.
Figuring out where your competitors are doing well,
Yeah.
maybe where they're not doing so well,
Right.
and then finding that sweet spot where your firm can really shine.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And once you've got a good handle on your brand and who you're trying to reach, then you can start thinking about PR.
Okay, so the chapter defines public relations for architects as building a positive image and basically showing the community how valuable good design is.
Yeah, it's about more than just individual projects.
Okay,
It's about the impact that architecture has on the entire built environment.
I see.
Yeah.
And they list a bunch of activities that architects can use to boost their PR, like giving lectures, getting involved in the community, writing articles, even philanthropy.
Yeah, it's about getting your name and your firm's values out there in a positive light.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's interesting is how they link public relations and marketing.
Okay.
They say that good PR actually lays the groundwork for good marketing.
Yeah, think about it. If people already have a good impression of your firm and the work you do, they'll be much more open to your marketing, right?
Right, so it's like building up a good reputation before you even start marketing.
Exactly. It's about building a reputation that precedes you.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. And in today's world, so much of that reputation building happens online.
Oh, absolutely.
So the chapter dives into the role of social media for architects these days.
Right.
And they highlight platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
even Facebook
Yeah.
as being crucial tools for connecting with potential clients and, sharing your story.
Yeah, they suggest posting all sorts of stuff.
Like what?
Project photos, staff profiles, updates about the firm, even insights into your design philosophy.
Okay, so it's like giving people a peek behind the curtain of your world.
Exactly. Showing what makes your firm tick.
Right. But it's not just about throwing anything up online. Right?
Right, absolutely not.
The chapter emphasizes creating high-quality content.
Yeah.
Stuff that looks good on phones.
Right.
Content that's visually interesting and actually engages people.
You got to stand out from the crowd.
Right, because everybody's online these days.
Exactly, yeah.
And they actually highlight how important this is by mentioning that the average person spends like over 2 hours a day on social media.
Wow.
Right. So if you're not taking advantage of that,
You're missing out.
you're missing a huge opportunity to connect with potential clients.
Yeah, it's like having a storefront in the busiest part of town, but keeping the lights off.
Yeah, good analogy.
Thank you.
So think of your social media as like a constantly evolving mini portfolio.
Yeah.
It's a chance to showcase your work,
Yeah.
your values, your personality in a way that people can connect with.
Absolutely.
But with all this digital outreach, the chapter also emphasizes good old-fashioned relationships.
Yes.
That's still important.
So important.
Yeah.
Building strong, long-term relationships is key to any successful practice.
Right.
Repeat clients, word-of-mouth referrals, that's gold.
Yeah.
It sustains a business over time.
That's like the lifeblood.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The chapter points out that architects often play a lot of roles for their clients.
Like what?
Designer, facilitator, problem solver.
Mhm.
It's about building trust, going above and beyond, exceeding expectations.
Right. Because when you do that,
Clients become more than just clients.
they become advocates.
Exactly. They start singing your praises. They recommend you to others.
Right.
That's the power of building genuine connections.
So it all comes back to relationships in the end.
It really does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. Promotion.
Right.
So promotion is all about getting the word out,
Yeah.
motivating potential clients to take that next step.
Yeah.
Whether it's requesting qualifications or scheduling a meeting, the goal is to turn that initial interest into action.
Yeah. And they talk about all sorts of strategies. Websites, brochures, targeted presentations, even events.
So it's about finding the right combination of tools to reach your ideal client.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the key is tailoring your materials to that specific audience, speaking their language.
It's not a one-size-fits-all.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
They emphasize highlighting the value that you bring.
Yeah.
Why should a client pick you? You got to make that crystal clear.
It's about presenting a compelling case for your services and really showcasing your expertise in a way that connects with their goals.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of ground. Brand, marketing, public relations, social media, relationships, and all the different sides of promotion. That's a lot.
We've only just scratched the surface. But what's so interesting is how the chapter weaves all these elements together
Right.
to show us a complete picture of what it takes to run a successful architectural practice.
Yeah.
It's a blend of creativity, business skills, and a deep understanding of people.
Yeah, it's like they're giving you a blueprint for building a successful business,
I like that.
not just a building.
Yeah. And speaking of blueprints, the chapter digs deeper into the specifics of promoting your work, and they start with building awareness in the market.
Okay.
Like laying the foundation. And these days, your website is like your storefront.
Right.
So it needs to be impressive.
Make a good first impression.
Exactly. Visually stunning, easy to navigate, showcase your best work. And it's where clients go to learn about your team, your design philosophy.
All that good stuff.
All of it.
Yeah, okay.
The chapter also talks about staying active on social media, even having a blog
Right.
as part of building awareness. So it's about staying on people's radar.
Okay.
Keeping them engaged. Like, imagine a steady drumbeat
Yeah.
reminding people who you are and what you stand for.
Right.
But it has to be genuine.
Right, yeah.
People can spot inauthenticity right away.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not all just digital, right? They talk about more traditional methods too, like directory listings, getting featured in articles, giving lectures, all that.
Right. It's about getting your name and your work out there in as many formats as possible.
Yeah.
And then there's networking.
Oh, yeah. Good old-fashioned networking.
Attending industry events, joining professional organizations, meeting people face to face. You just never know where those connections will lead.
So you've sparked some interest, right? Now, how do you keep that momentum going?
That's where reinforcing interest comes in. It's about taking things to the next level, moving from just general information to showing potential clients how you can meet their specific needs.
Okay.
So less, here's what we do, and more, here's how we can solve your problem.
I see.
Exactly. And they suggest creating brochures and web pages focused on projects relevant to that client, like saying, look, we've done this before, we can do it for you.
Okay, so it's about tailoring your message.
Exactly.
Making it relevant.
Yes. And visuals are key here.
Oh, yeah.
High-quality photos, maybe even videos.
Right.
Capture the essence of your work. And testimonials.
Oh, yeah. Testimonials are powerful.
Very powerful. Nothing builds trust like hearing it from someone who's been there.
Right. Okay.
They even talk about using 3D models and virtual walkthroughs.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is really cool. Give clients a sneak peek into the future.
Yeah.
Technology is powerful.
But all the technology in the world can't help if you can't communicate clearly.
Right.
And they emphasize that, too.
Yeah. Be concise. Tailor your message. No one wants to wade through a ton of jargon.
Yeah, no one wants to read a novel.
Exactly. Just get to the point.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the goal of all of this is to get the client to commit.
Right.
To turn interest into a signed contract.
Right. Get that John Hancock.
Yeah. And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
They suggest one-on-one interviews, presentations where you showcase your work, maybe even office tours, project tours.
Okay.
It's about building rapport, showing them that you're the right fit.
So it becomes less about selling and more about building that connection.
Exactly. You're not just a faceless company.
Right.
You're a group of passionate individuals.
You're real people who care.
Yes. And they also talk about customized proposals.
Okay.
Addressing the client's needs, like saying, we've heard you, and here's how we can help.
Here's the plan.
Okay.
So you've won the commission. Congratulations.
Ooh.
But the work's not over, is it?
No.
They emphasize supporting the client through the entire process.
Yes, from design to construction and beyond.
Okay.
This is where long-term relationships pay off.
Okay.
It's about communication, keeping them updated, exceeding their expectations.
Turn them into, like, raving fans?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They suggest little things like sending notes, celebrating milestones. It shows you're invested.
Right. It's the little things that count.
They do. And continuing that relationship after the project is done.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't just end there.
No. Send holiday cards, share news, invite them to events, stay on their radar,
Okay.
nurture those connections.
So in the end, it really is all about relationships.
It really is. The foundation is a successful practice.
I see.
The chapter then talks about creating these, compelling promotional materials and proposals.
Right.
And one thing that stood out was this emphasis on crediting everyone properly. Oh, right. You can't just use any photo you find.
Exactly. You need to have the rights, give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
It's about being ethical, respecting intellectual property. Plus, it shows clients you're professional. You value others.
Right. It builds trust. Okay.
And when you describe your firm's role, be truthful.
Right.
Don't inflate your involvement.
Be honest.
Honesty is the best policy. Again, it's about trust. Clients want to work with people they can rely on.
Okay.
And they also talk about using references, but get permission first.
Right. Some clients might not want their names out there.
Exactly. Respect their wishes. And if they are willing to be a reference, they'll probably say great things about you.
Yeah, exactly. So the chapter ends by talking about architectural competitions.
Right.
And those can be a really good way for firms to get recognized, right?
Oh, absolutely. A chance to really flex their creative muscles.
Right.
But there are risks. And the chapter emphasizes following the guidelines set by organizations like the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada. All right, those guidelines exist for a reason.
They do, to make sure the competition is fair, transparent, protects both the architect and the client. And they mention that competitions for buildings often need approval from the provincial or territorial associations.
So there's a lot of oversight
Yeah.
to make sure everything's legit.
Exactly. And then there's the professional advisor
Okay.
who advises the owner, prepares the competition conditions, makes arrangements, It's like they're the referee,
I like that analogy.
keeping everyone on track.
Yeah.
And they warn that these competitions can be high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
You put in a lot of work, there's no guarantee you'll win.
So firms really need to weigh the pros and cons.
For sure. Think about if it aligns with their goals.
Yeah.
Will it bring in the right clients? Is it worth the effort?
So much to think about. This chapter has really given us a peek into what it takes to run an architectural firm.
Yeah, it's more than just beautiful designs and impressive buildings. It's about understanding your market, building relationships, promoting your work the right way.
And doing it ethically.
Absolutely. Because in the end, a successful architectural practice is built on trust.
Trust with clients.
And with the community.
Yeah, it's like you walk by a building and you're like, oh, that's cool, but you don't think about all the work that went into making it happen.
Exactly. We just see the finished product, not all the strategy and business skills that go into it.
Right. So let's kind of recap everything we've learned.
Okay.
It seems like it all starts with a strong brand.
Right.
Defining your firm's personality, values, what makes you unique.
And that brand identity should be a part of everything you do.
Right. Marketing, PR, all of it.
It's your guiding principle.
Okay. And then there's marketing. So that's about knowing your ideal client, what they need, and showing them that you can solve their problems.
Right. And it's always evolving.
Yeah.
You're always adapting.
And then there's public relations, which is connecting with the community and showing how architecture makes a difference.
Exactly. Showcasing the impact of good design.
Okay. And of course, social media is huge these days.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a powerful tool for architects.
Yeah, you can share your story, connect with people, build your brand.
And it's not just about posting random photos.
No, it's got to be engaging.
Provide value.
Right, you want to stand out.
Because there's so much noise online.
There is.
Yeah.
And through it all, remember, relationships are key.
Right. Building those connections.
With clients, collaborators, the community, it's the foundation of a successful practice.
It's about going above and beyond, keeping them happy.
And turning clients into advocates for your firm.
Yeah, people who will recommend you to others.
Exactly. Word of mouth is powerful.
And then there's the promotional side.
Right.
Getting your name out there.
Through your website, brochures, presentations, competitions.
Finding the right way to reach those potential clients.
And ultimately, turning your architectural vision into a reality.
So running an architectural practice is really like this blend of creativity and business.
It is, and this deep dive has given us a glimpse into all the hard work and strategy that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate all those amazing buildings we see even more.
Absolutely.
So as you continue to, explore architecture, think about what kind of brand you would create if you were an architect.
Yeah, what story would you tell?
What would make your firm stand out?
How would you use all these tools to reach people and make your dreams a reality?
It's something to think about. And who knows, maybe it'll even spark some ideas for your own career.
Even if you're not an architect.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.